Like and follow if you love horror. Its first memory was of being told to stand perfectly still on the tip of one toe, its other leg bent and raised at the knee, arms embracing the air above it. It was told to do many things like that through the beginning of its existence, but the first time was the most crucial memory. Master placed strange cloth about its body and placed stiff woven reef around the top of its head. Master adorned its hands and wrists with metal and polished rocks. The ritual was strange indeed, but Master was particular about everything's placement, and it was told to move nothing. This seemed simple enough and, at the time, insignificant. It knew to do what it was told and could do it with ease. That was before it began to understand the ritual. Master added different pigmented lacquers to the whitened piece of cloth stretched across a wooden frame. At first, it could not see. Master always had the back of the cloth facing it. Master studied it intimately as he added layer after layer of color. Master was making something on the other side of the cloth, something that was part of this bizarre ritual. Day in and day out, Master would return to it, sit in front of the cloth, and add color, and, over time, become fatigued. Master would leave every night, taking the light with him, leaving it in darkness. One day, as the bizarre ritual continued, Master suddenly stopped, nodded firmly, picked up the cloth, and turned around with it. Master then placed the cloth on a wall to examine it. On the cloth, bathed in color, was a beautiful creature, like Master, but dressed as it was decorated. The cloth that hung from its body in many ways resembled the creature Master had created. Now it understood its purpose for the first time. It understood the ritual entirely, and it would never forget that first moment when the creature of color was revealed to it. Over the years, there were many other poses, many different things to wear, and many unusual creatures that Master captured with his ritual, but it never forgot the first. Agent Ronnie stood in the lobby of the Grand Pines Lodge Spa and Resort. Everywhere he looked, there were signs of murder. One didn't have to be a trained tracker to see it. Trails of dry blood ran from room to room. Ronnie looked a bit out of place with all the uniform units swarming about. He wore a simple leather jacket over a white t-shirt and black slacks. He was older than a lot of the field team members there, but his indigenous blood kept him looking young. He raised one tan hand and brushed back his high and tight before tracing the carnage with his eyes. One trail for both the barback and the chef on duty, which led from the kitchen through the bar and into the beer cellar. Caucasian male, 32, 6 foot, 195 pounds. African male, 54, 5 foot 10, 365 pounds. A trail of blood led to the emergency staircase, past the elevator, and went all the way to the room of a lone businesswoman who was there for a meeting. Spanish female, 35, 5 foot 8, 145 pounds. Chad, Brett, and Derek, 3 fat boys hunting snipe, found by following a trail of blood from the main lounge, by the bar, through the game room, to the utility shack outside. Caucasian male, 23, 5 foot 10, 168 pounds, Narragansett male, 23, 6 foot, 204 pounds, African American male, 22, 6 foot 6, 281 pounds. The night maintenance and groundkeeper found at the end of the trail of blood that led from the side exit through the lobby into the display gallery for fine wooden arts. Korean male, 62, 6 foot 2, 167 pounds. Finally, the last victim, Penny, the night manager, found in the cold storage of the kitchen, locked from the inside, self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head, otherwise perfectly preserved. Caucasian female, 28, 5 foot 8, 162 pounds. The rest had been methodically deboned, leaving flesh, meat, tendons, piles of messy offal that were vaguely resembled the people they once were. Whatever did this took the bones. Ronnie had never heard of anything like it. Holy crap! Joe Jack stepped out from where he'd been hiding behind the front desk. If Ronnie looked out of place, then Joe Jack looked absurd. He wore a Dolly Parton t-shirt under a mouth-eaten navy blue blazer and blue jeans. While Ronnie could be described as tall, dark, and handsome by anyone who had a taste for that sort of thing, Joe Jack was scrawny, pasty, and gangly. Looked like they fought like hell. Molotov cocktails, homemade flamethrower that done blow up, all sorts of hacking and slashing tools. They took all 3 of the fire axes in the building. Not the killer, though. These were for defense, Ronnie nodded. He was sure of it. He was familiar with at least that much from the other slashers. At one point, the Vicks even barricaded themselves in the kitchen. The killer slipped down the vent, judging by the scuff marks. There must have been at least 4 survivors in there, all well armed, but rather than try to fight it, someone actually cut their way back out of the kitchen and tried to make a run for it. The night manager just locked herself in the cooler and blew her own brains out. No recording from security, Joe Jack shrugged. Whatever it was, it knew to wipe the hard drives and destroy all the cameras. Ronnie queued up his phone as forensics did their thing. Yeah, Chief, we got another one. Yeah, I'm sure of it. Excuse me, who the hell do you think you are? From behind Ronnie came an annoyed masculine voice. He turned to see the younger agent. Comb back, blonde, slick top, aviators, and a manicure. Dressed to impress like fresh out of the academy. In Ronnie's experience, bucks like that were out to make a name for themselves, get noticed. A collar like the massacre at the Grand Pines could make a young agent's career. UPD had authority, but a greenhorn likely wouldn't have even heard of them, and just as likely wouldn't easily give up a collar of this magnitude. Where's your senior, son? Ronnie was blunt and brushed off the agent's offense. Oh, real cute, pal. I've been off the leash for half the year, the agent explained. It was clear he was going to be a problem. You can't just walk in and take a man's scene without following procedure. Can and did. Ronnie produced his card with his ID. This falls under UPD jurisdiction. I don't need to call and ask, and you definitely don't want me to. Ronnie stared down the agent. The agent stared back for a moment, but eventually took the card and left to call his CO. At that moment, Joe Jack spoke up. Ronnie, I normally test your instincts, but are you sure this is UPD business? Weird as some of the circumstances were, they're all pretty much rationally explainable. Then you want to tell me how a normal killer squeezed themselves down a vent pipe no more than a foot in diameter? How 4 well-armed individuals were overcome to the point where one literally cut themselves out of safety? Cabin fever, Joe Jack nodded. I ain't saying it's a normal thing, but one time my Uncle Jimmy and his buddy Carl were out on a fishing trip and, well, I think they may have gotten eat some of them mushrooms that grow up by the lake, but anyway, at that point, a uni ran out of the far stairwell, down the hall, past the 2 agents, out the front door of the lobby, where he started vomiting. Ronnie gave Joe Jack a look, and the 2 of them drew weapons and proceeded up the stairs. I want units on every exit, the younger agent called out, following behind them. Ronnie followed a trail of size 12 standard issue boot prints in blood. They led up the steps, through the door, to the top suites, then quickly turned into and under the first door of the suite next to the stairs. The door was slightly ajar, a rank smell emanating from beyond. Ronnie took the right, the rookie took the left, and Joe Jack raised his silver filigree Widowmaker. Following a single clenched fist from Ronnie, Joe Jack kicked in the door. What lay beyond stopped all 3 agents flat. The rookie quickly went around the corner and started retching. 7 human skeletons were carefully posed, standing up, and adorned with all manner of garments. They'd been reassembled and fixed in position with wire coat hangers. Around them, suitcases were unloaded and matched outfits were laid out. The UP had been playing dress-up. The floor was puddled with blood. Yet there were no footprints other than the unis, and there were no handprints on any of the garments or surfaces. Ronnie turned to Joe Jack. You want to explain that?